anything of it, then have you now the chance to express that. Not too long, but we will try it. We have Erik. Okay.
Thank you very much for your lecture on this design thinking. But if I summarize, it looks also a little bit like a program where you develop Fingerspitzengefühl. And that's a wonderful German word.
What's your translation in English?
I don't have it. It's something, but you said design thinking is a method to develop common sense. And Fingerspitzengefühl is common sense.
Yeah.
In Dutch we would say boerenwijsheid. Do we need a 4-year
farmer's wisdom?
Yeah. Do we need a 4-year program in our university to have our students prepared for business?
So I think you will not prepare in a 4-year course your students for design thinking. You prepare them to be, I see, touristic people, business administrators, whatever they do. It's a traditional thing. I think also with a merger you cannot change too much what you offer. You have the chance to change some of the study programs, but this is it. It's a T. This is this. So design thinking is an additional attitude. And we do this in 2 semesters. But even if the people follow only 1 semester, there is a change. So I think the goal is not to create a design thinking university. You offer what you offered, but with an additional value. And you can do this together and not, I thought it's so close, so one has to tell me exactly where is the border of this university and that university. It looks like one university.
Okay, what Christoph explained to us yesterday is the T-shape.
Yeah.
That's very important in his approach. And in the T-shape you have a vertical approach, that's your discipline, so to say, and additional to that, a roof, as explained, a roof. And that could be design thinking in your approach.
Sure.
Okay, there was still other.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello. Yeah. I had a question about the workings of the multidisciplinary teams. Is there an amount of students or students in combination with coach that is most effective? Are we talking about 6, 7 students or groups of 12?
So we have the format that a class is 40 students, plus, minus. And that there are 5 to 6 teams.
Okay.
And there are 1 teacher for each team, 1 teacher and 1 coach. And the coach is more assistant person, and a teacher takes care about 2 projects. And the coach 2, but not the same, but in this way to create a lot of things. Sometimes there is a situation that some student became ill or parents, and so he left. It is smaller. It is not good if it's too small. Then the interaction becomes too small.
Yeah.
Another interesting thing is there are some students that are leaders, every time going ahead. So this is disturbing in such an approach. But the team is used to teach this to this person. It's not the teacher who says, shut up. The teacher let him or her work. Up to the moment the other students say, no, I have also something to say. Now I am also want to contribute something. So these group processes are very important, and to learn to deal with this is not taught in university. University only trains single person, even if we have some cooperation projects with several students. But in practice, there are almost no situation where people work alone. In the practice later on, they have to work in a team, and they have to work with a person that is late and that is slow and not effective, and they have to deal with the situation and motivate this person and interact with this person to improve this.
So it's basically shared leadership, or
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The catch box has this disadvantage that you have your own mic. Okay, the last question for this round.
I think there was one question, the lady.
The lady.
The lady there.
The lady, okay. You're a privilege. The lady. Monique.
Never done that before. I was wondering, we are working with a kind of design thinking system in media production and media entertainment management. What is the role of knowledge? Because you say you can't start design thinking after you have finished 4 years of studying.
Yeah. So design thinking finishes with a prototype. And then the prototype has to be implemented.
Yeah, I do understand
And
this.
then definitely you need the specialists for this implementation.
For the implementation,
For the
not
implementation.
for the creation of the...
In the creation of the solution, it is good if the people which are working in the team are broadly educated.
So you're letting them design their own ideas, and then when they have the ideas, you come up with the knowledge they need to design the prototype.
So we say they should do this at the end of their study. They should be educated in a discipline, and then they need this additional ability. So in the design thinking, we train this interaction ability, this being able for innovation. So it's not one or this, they need both. On top of a good disciplinary education, this ability for the design thinking.
Okay, thank you for this round. A big hand for Christoph. There is still a short, brief time left for some discussion. So I would like to invite you, or with Christoph or with Wim, to discuss about some questions, how to apply some ideas in the phase we are now in for thinking about design thinking in our university. Okay, who wants the floor? Yes. Maybe you can call your name and...
Okay. My name is Greetje Krijgsveld. I'm working here at Stenden at the ITM department. I had a question about design thinking, and more specifically about the role of the teacher, because there are two persons involved in design thinking. One was the assistant teacher and there was the teacher, and I imagine the assistant teacher being more for the process, but then the teacher, because we're talking about what is his role, because what is the speciality of this teacher that he can add to this group?
Correctly, it needs to be called coach. And I think this is exactly the role. This is not that there is some person that has a knowledge, and this explains the knowledge to the team. The team is finding out, making research, and an experienced person is coach them, is seeing what's going on, is asked question, perhaps give direction, but never takes responsibility for what students are doing. This is their task. So the difference between what we call teacher and what we call assistant is that teacher typically are professors, and the coaches are assistant professors, or sometimes also people from start-up or alumni. So there is no definition about the role, and the different persons fill the role in a different way. I remember in the very beginning there was a famous professor, a teacher, Werner Zorn. He was famous because he introduced email in Germany. And he has a lot of experience in project management. So the team got the task. He called all the students and said, so now what have we do? We start this and you, and this do, and this do. And the people, of course, the young students in the first moment were not encouraged enough to say go away. But after 2 weeks, they asked the academic director of the D school, in future, no more have to work with this professor. it's a nice person, but he did it in a traditional way, where you, if you are responsible, have a plan in head to say this is the first step and this could fit in this other. And this is exactly how design thinking does not work. Yeah? So the role, the people have to make, what the people need is experience in design thinking, so they themselves have to be part of a team, they have to feel the energy and what's going on, and then combined with their background, then they are considered to be valuable for the team. But not in giving directions, not in saying, here I know all and you have only to do this and then it's fine. They are partner.
Okay, another partner in
And
the...
by the way, not every professor is willing to be in the role of a partner. So I also, in our institutes, there are differences. But I think it's not bad to learn this attitude, to be partner and not to be a wise God.
Partner or God? So that's the question.
Boo. Okay. Hi, I'm Patrick. I'm a student from the neighbors here. It may be a weird question, but it's obvious we're at a crossroads now within the college and the ways of learning. But what about the students, for example, me? I'm still learning very old-fashioned. I got 16 books at home. Friends of mine at healthcare education, they've got 30 books. What about those people? How will they, what's the best way for them to enroll into the new ways of thinking within the working society? Will they just be half old-fashioned, half new, or what?
So,
Christoph, you
professors,
Should I start?
You first.
Patrick's concern is to be part of a lost generation.
So I every time see the study not only as a phase in life where you learn some knowledge in some discipline. This is the first phase in life you learn to act self-responsible. And this learning every time is also combined with making failure, to find out what is effective for me, what does not work for me. So try your way. You can try a MOOC and you can see whether this is your world. Nobody is forcing you to change the style. So only what you are enforced is to at the end be successful, to make your graduation, to have good marks. In which way? This you're responsible, and teachers, professors, students around, they can help you. But you are self-responsible.
You know what I did in Delft? I started with no book, with no article, with an empty database. And my first question to my students was, why have you come up to me to take my courses? And then if they had a specific goal, that's where we were going after. And we filled our database collaboratively. So at the end of the course, there was a database filled of relevant literature, and students had built the database. I call that a kind of ownership. So, you know what to do and to tell your teacher tomorrow?
Patrick is the new owner of the new university. Yep.
Yeah, please. My name is Rianne, I'm working for the International Business Program. I'm struggling a bit with the tension between kind of open-ended learning, as you were explaining. You start with the question, what do you want to learn? And the responsibility we have towards accreditation organizations to show the learning outcomes of our students. How do you deal with that? Do you have ideas on that?
Yeah. That's another part of a presentation. It's on reputation systems, and it's on e-portfolios. So giving students ownership on their education means also that they have to know where to go. Yeah. And there are final actions to do, anyhow, still now, today. But they can, if they know it in advance, what you expect from them at the end of the course, then they can start working towards that end.
So you take a result-oriented
Yeah.
approach. Yeah.
And in Germany, they don't have accreditation organizations.
We have, in a state system, we have 2 private ones, which consist of university professors, university presidents, which are public employees, and consider this as a possibility to create business. So a joke is we start with this accreditation. You know, this bachelor-master system is new for Germany, although with the credit points. Your question is very special, but you can ask the same question, similar question also for the design thinking, other thing. I think in the design thinking manner, let's try something. Let's not assume that we sit together and work together up to the moment we have a final answer. Because then we will not start, we will not learn, and we will definitely not find the right answer. And perhaps we make mistakes, but better to make a mistake than to make nothing.
Okay, here another question.
Yeah, it's just a comment. Yes, my name is Sanna, thank you. Yesterday somebody said to me, why not accreditate the teachers instead of the course? Then the problem is solved with the learning outcomes. So why not accreditate people instead of the staff?
I hope everyone will be here still then. Okay, why not another suggestion?
Well, normally there are accreditation courses for teachers. At Delft, you have to pass exams as a teacher to be able to teach. There are different levels, and being a professor, there is a very difficult exam to pass.
But they introduced it
No.
before you was appointed, or?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, but there is a system of accreditation for teachers. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
In
BKO.
Yeah, BKO, BKE, BKA, we do it in Dutch. There's the different levels for senior. And if you want to be an examinator, then you have to do this senior one and so on.
But at Nomads, for example, in Amsterdam, teachers are evaluated on a yearly basis by their students, for example. And if they are failing, well, they just can go because students at Nomads in Amsterdam pay the salaries of their teachers. It's quite a different system.
Yep.
It's not so far away, Amsterdam.
Okay,
so you can create if you want something really new.
We are running out of time, unfortunately, so I'm collecting the last question. Urgent question, yes, of course, you. Your name?
Yeah, my name is Klaas Kalma. I am at the Department of Business IT and Management. And I have a very short question. Is design thinking, is that something you can base a complete education system on, or is it just a good ingredient?
Okay, design thinking as an ingredient or more than that?
I would say design thinking can give you a vision. What's the goal of the education? And to implement this vision, it can be an ingredient. Yeah, but it's more to consider this only. I see that is a big advantage of you, that you start your university from such kind of vision, how students should be prepared for a more and more complex future. Is it enough to follow the traditional disciplinary education? Or have we helped them to better prepared for future tasks? And then design thinking can come into play. And it's not replacing. So I would recommend not fight for things you have. You can take all what you have in the merger, but you can top it with some additional things, and you have the chance in such a process to rethink. In East Germany, the science system was academy-based, like the Russian system. And in an academy-based system, scientists sit together, and they start in the beginning to discuss basic questions, and then they found the answer, and then the rest of their life never asked basic questions. The big advantage in university is every year we were, as a teacher, were asked with the basic questions. And if you observe yourself, you see every year you give a little bit different answer. So in this way, we learn and see and adapt. And I think this is the big, now I have not the right enough English enthusiastic word, das große Glück, the fortune, to be in a situation where you are forced, for what kind ever, to go together, to say how can we make the sum better as the addition of the two existing things. And design thinking could be a...
Thank you very much for this closing remarks. A big hand for the two people.
Dank u wel.
And maybe we can summarize that we are building a new university, but it's very unique because we will have a revolution with the new ideas in a new university, but in the meanwhile we keep the old ones. So that is unique in the world, to keep the old ones and to build a new one. You never heard of it, but it's new. And we hope that Christoph and Wim will explain that in Delft and in Potsdam. And then all the excursion all over the world will coming here from Michigan, from other places to look for the revolution that keep the old structures as well. Thank you very much. And we would invite you for some drinks, and Wim and Chris are still available for about a half an hour.